Recently, the SEC, or Securities and Exchange Commission, approved 11 new spot Bitcoin ETFs to trade at companies like BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK, and more. Today, I want to cover my top 3 negatives that could come from this ETF passing. Now, if you want to see my video on the positives, check out this card above or link in the description. The first reason could cause the most harm, but also may not play out like I'm suggesting. The money managers and financial advisors trying to sell clients the Bitcoin ETF most likely won't really understand Bitcoin or what it represents. Millions of people will think they understand Bitcoin, but will have just gotten the 5-minute watered down version of a sales pitch. This could potentially slow down Bitcoin adoption, as many people would just view it as a normal investment. If you have watched this channel, you know I believe Bitcoin is the greatest invention in mankind's history and offers us a chance to reach our peak prosperity as a species. Improper education could slow that down. Despite many people getting the illusion that the ETFs are safer, they really aren't. Now, they're riskier than owning the real Bitcoin, although you don't have to take as much personal responsibility for doing that properly. However, giving a few institutions this much control and power could be an issue. These companies are well known for trying to manipulate markets or sell paper assets. This just means they might sell you 1 Bitcoin worth of ETF shares, but only have half of a Bitcoin in the fund. If the company starts to do poorly or go under, you might have a claim to Bitcoin, but there might not be any Bitcoin to give back to you. Where if you own the real thing in self-custody, you don't have to worry about that risk. Lastly, a large amount of Bitcoin will become centralized in the hands of a few corporations. This doesn't impact the decentralization of the network and how that operates, but makes things like attacks or confiscations more likely. Many governments confiscated citizens' assets, and the US has even done this on several occasions of its own. The most direct was when FDR, by Executive Order 6102, seized US citizens' gold. This was easy to do because most of it was sitting at a few banks and not spread out amongst the people. The centralization of coins makes it easy for something like this to happen as Bitcoin rises in price and the US dollar debases due to our increasing debt levels. This is a real concern. Overall, I don't think the Bitcoin ETF is positive or negative. I think it's an inevitable part of Bitcoin's journey. We are at the stage where big players are taking notice, and that is 100% needed for Bitcoin to reach mass global adoption. The best thing you can do is to learn as much about the technology and asset as possible and be prepared for multiple outcomes. This channel will be aiming to provide top-notch educational content in an easy-to-digest way about the financial system and Bitcoin. Please subscribe and stay tuned.